Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. I'm so happy to be here today, this April 13th, Tuesday. In the States, it's Friday 13th. That is kind of like a funky day. In Mexico, it's also Tuesday the 13th. I hear people talking about Tuesday. When the Tuesday is the 13th, it's a day of bad luck. We also have this saying called En martes ni te cases ni te embarques, which means on Tuesday, don't get married and don't set sail. So I don't care because we're having a wonderful day here at Coffee and Headlines headquarters. We started the day earlier setting up the broadcast, and I'm just really happy to be here. I'm very happy to see each and every one of you, as always. And as always, if you are new to these broadcasts, please let us know that you are new by writing your name, in writing your comment, the word new in your comment. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so not everything is perfect today. I'm a little scattered. I'm still drinking my coffee. But that's what we do. We get together, we drink our favorite beverage, we take a look at the most recent headlines, and that have to do with Puerto Vallarta and Mexico, and we try to understand the world as we know it. Then we exchange tips about how to have an awesome life here in Puerto Vallarta, and so forth and so on. And you all know that, but I'm always happy to remind everyone of it because there's always a few people that join us that are part of the wonderful silent majority that is not necessarily conversing, and that's perfectly fine too. So we love it, the fact that you're here. We love the fact that we get together and discuss the headlines, discuss the headlines, which today have something to do with COVID, with political debates, with street closures that we may want to be mindful of this week, of turtles that didn't get the memo, and islands that we might be able to visit. So we have a little bit of everything, not to mention the fact that it is Taco Tuesday, and we are going to visit Tacos Revolución. I say it out loud because we had already discussed it during the week. Last week when we had Walking Wednesday, I said that I had just had lunch at Tacos Revolución, which means that that was like the obvious choice to feature today. So that's what we're going to have. I hope you have your favorite beverage ready. And before we get started, I just want to very quickly see who is joining us, starting with Brett, who's here from Mazatlan. We get to talk about Mazatlan today in the news, and we'll see what that has to do with what. Let's see. Good morning, Michael. I hope your eye surgery continues to I hope you continue to be on the mend from your eye surgery. It's great to see you. Que onda, Paco? Me want tacos. I love it. Me want tacos too. Let's see who else is here. Chicago's in the house. Good morning, Glee Audrey. It's great to see you. Tacos and headlines. Absolutely. I'm amicable to that notion. Hello, Veronica. And here we go. Here we go. Just about everyone we know is here. And again, if you are new, let us know. If you have something important that you want to discuss during the broadcast today, please add a letter Q at the beginning so that we will try our best to not miss it during the broadcast. Oh, day 13 of quarantine in Calgary after returning from Bucerias. I hope that's going well, Wendy. I'm sure you had a very successful departure and arrival in Canada, and I hope you get done with your confinement uh, sometime in the future. I forget it's 15 days, right? So you must be about done with it, which is wonderful. Michael is singing "I Can See Clearly Now." I love it. Boom. Okay, with that said and done, let us turn over to the news this morning. Okay, for starters, an increase in COVID 19 cases is reported this morning with 19 new cases in the last 24 hours. Um, no, that's not true. Yes, it is true. 19 new cases in the last 24 hours. And in the last week, a total of 70 new cases and 6 deaths were reported here in Puerto Vallarta. This, according to the information provided on a daily basis by Jalisco Secretary of Health. Of course, we have not been following these numbers on a daily basis and rather have been following the weekly reports provided by the governor himself, Enrique Alfaro. But it is clear that we can anticipate an overall increase at the end of this week, and it's a matter of waiting until Sunday and Monday just to see how much the numbers changed during this vacation period. We pretty much take for granted that the numbers will increase. We just don't know exactly how much. We continue to keep our fingers crossed that it wasn't so bad. Something good about the vacation period, however, is that local authorities, have reported what they call a saldo blanco or white balance, and that is the phrase usually applied when there are no tourist-related casualties in Puerto Vallarta. And there were no tourist-related casualties during the 2-week vacation period. This is very good news. No drownings, no drunks, no horrible things that sometimes can happen during vacations. Interim Mayor Jorge Antonio Quintero quickly acknowledged the collaboration that took place between the different layers of government, along with the specific agencies in charge of our well being. This is very good news, and let us hope that it stays that way. Of course, there are other types of deaths that go on in the city, and those are not included in this saldo blanco. The saldo blanco in this case applies only to vacation and vacationers. Now, take a look at this. This is Marina de los Santos, who used to oversee Puerto Vallarta's Department of Culture. She is now the mayoral candidate for the new state party, Hagamos, or Let's Do It. She is on the radar today in here at Coffee and Headlines because she has made a formal request to Mexico's Electoral College to organize a debate among all candidates for the position of Puerto Vallarta mayor. And I quote her. She said, "We are the first and only party to date invested in raising the discourse level. We want people to get to know our projects, our proposals, and our ideas with debate and dialogue, not with violence," she said. Obviously, she was making reference to that unfortunate encounter between members of the Green Party and the Orange Party last week that resulted in some fist fighting and just very apolitical things. It is now a matter of waiting to see if the Electoral College will approve the debate and schedule it accordingly. This is something I would not want to miss. This is very important to think that our mayor candidates would go on without actually expressing their ideas in a respectful, well-moderated forum seems horrible to me. So hopefully this will happen, and we'll take a look at what happens when it happens, and if we are invited to even attend. In other news, I want to let you know that the local police and traffic department has just announced that a portion of Francisco Medina Asensio, around what's with my pronunciation today, around Las Glorias will be closed for traffic indefinitely due to improvements. In looking at the photograph, this seems to be right in front of the former Mega, which is now called Soriana, near the Sheraton Hotel. I am actually headed in that direction today to buy some groceries. So if I spot anything interesting, I'll let you know. And with that said and done, let me take a quick look at any comments you may have at this point. And I see that you are all very well behaved, not commenting much, which is lovely. Although I love it when you comment as well. So I'm going to continue on with the weather. That cloud looks like you're getting your leg torn off by a poodle, says Carrot Weather today. And it also says that the temperature right now is 25 degrees Celsius, which feels like 27. Humidity has increased to 57%. And our temperature in Fahrenheit is 77 degrees. Today we can expect a very clear day with a high temperature of 29, low temperature 19. Wednesday is going to be a clear day as well with a high temperature of 30, low temperature 19. And Thursday will also be a clear day. How wonderful. With a high temperature of 31, low temperature 19. I see that Dave is reporting that they already started the repairs in El Centro and Emiliano Zapata. This is good to know. I think this is not, this report that I just shared with you is independent of what we had reported. We had reported that there would be some repairs in El Centro and Emiliano Zapata, and this is something else that is going on. I'm actually choosing to go to that supermarket today because I'm curious to actually walk on the bicycle path to see just how wide or narrow it is. From all the photos that I've seen, it looks too narrow for two bicycles to go in the same or opposite direction. So I will be taking photographs of this. Felix asks, is that closure on the main road to Colonia Emiliano Zapata? The answer is yes. Francisco Medina Asensio, as we know, is the main thoroughway here in the city. But it is 2, 4, 6. It's an 8-lane thing. It's an 8-lane avenue, 2 internal and 2 external. So even if they close 2 lanes, it's probably not going to be very bad, or at least I anticipate that it'll be pretty manageable. Major street repairs on Montessori. Finally, that's good to know. I forget what Colonia is Montessori, so this is. Please let us know, Larry, if you care to let us know. James says, what streets are affected? They are always doing some kind of construction lately. Isn't that wonderful, James? That they are actually taking time to fix our streets. I think it's always wonderful to see this kind of construction. When we reported the improvements in Colonia Emiliano Zapata and in El Centro, we mentioned the specific streets. So kindly take a look at one of the last few days in which this was mentioned, so you can look at the show notes and you can answer your question on your own, James. Let me continue with, Larry tells us that it is in Palmar de Armada. Yes, there's been a lot of work going on in Palmar de Armada, which makes me very happy. I have friends that live in that colonia. You guys have new streets and have new public areas, and this is absolutely wonderful. I mean, there's never a good time or a bad time to fix these streets. A lot of people say, well, this should only happen during the summer, this should only happen during the fall. So all I say is, let's fix it when it needs to be fixed. It's bound to cause some conflict of interest or some chaos, but hey, that's the nature of the beast. That's the way that happens. Jeannie says the street that hosts the buses to Mismaloya in front of the OXXO was closed off yesterday. Again, this may have something to do with the work that is being conducted right now by Ciapal, the waterworks company. So it's all good. It's all good. So along with that, let me move on to some other leisurely headlines that I have for you, which is actually, this is very funny, but turtle hatching season in Puerto Vallarta usually does not begin until April. I mean, August, my bad. But tourists and locals were startled when this particular turtle didn't seem to get the memo and arrived early, as in yesterday, to lay her eggs at the beach right in front of the Cristal Hotel, much to the amazement of those watching. So authorities were quickly alerted, and Profepa, which is Mexico's environmental protection agency, quickly showed up and picked up the eggs for safekeeping. This makes me very happy. Um, I have an update. I have an update on the Islas Marias. Riviera Nayarit has issued a press release about the newly opened Islas Marias, or rather the islas that are going to be open to the public starting this July, indicating that they are bound to become the summer boom this year, or this is wishful thinking. And of course, an important part of Riviera Nayarit's tourism offering. Now, what do we know about this? We know that this is the last penal colony that Mexico had, and that at some point in his government, Mexico President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador decided to close it and turn it into an eco park of one kind or another. We know that these islands are part of the municipality of San Blas in Nayarit. And we also know that it is expected that folks will be able to do a day trip to the island, no overnight accommodations available, from San Blas, Puerto Vallarta, and Mazatlan, and that the trip to get there will take everything between 4 and 6 hours, depending on your departure point. But what seems to be unclear at this point is which companies will actually provide the service. Nobody has come forth to make any announcements. And just to give you some perspective, let us take a look at the Islas Marias in relationship to where we are. There is Puerto Vallarta down here, and there are the islas. There is San Blas in Nayarit, and Mazatlan is not even on the map. There it is, Mazatlan. So, how are we going to get there, and what are we going to find there? Well, what are we going to find there? We're going to find a piece of Mexico history. I'm really itching to go. But how long it's going to take to get there and who is going to provide the service is still and will remain a mystery until specific agencies start making announcement that they're going to start to provide these services. There was, or there is, a ship, a vessel purchased by Vidanta, and they have something called Vidanta Cruises, but this seems to be a luxury overnight operation that would make stops at the Islas Marias. So we don't know exactly how and when we're going to be able to visit them. In my mind, my silly mind, I visualize doing a trip to Mazatlan, and from Mazatlan, taking a day trip to the islands. Why Mazatlan? Because Mazatlan is presently expanding their maritime terminal, as I understand it, and it is quite likely that a provider will surface at some point. So I'll keep you informed on this one, because this would be fun. I mean, a new nature-oriented opportunity is always something that I personally get happy about. Let me take a quick look at your comments to see if you have anything to add to this. Let's see. Baringa boom boom boom. Seapal is cutting water Wednesday from 9 to 4 in Cinco de Diciembre, Emiliano Zapata, and a few other colonias. Thank you for the heads up, Michael. I thought about you yesterday because I discovered a new amazing restaurant. Oh my God. But I'm not telling you what it is until Thursday. Why? Because we have all kinds of lovely things to feature today, and I didn't want to upstage our Taco Tuesday. But I have a new restaurant for you to try, Michael. It is divine. And everybody else, of course. Let's see. When they fix the streets, they also fix the sidewalks, and that makes pushing the wheelchair much easier, says Den. I know that Den's wife, Kathy, is wheelchair bound, and they're a delightful couple, and they are my unofficial correspondence when it comes to understanding what it's like to navigate our cities when you have some kind of physical mobility challenge. I don't know how common this is among our members, among the cluster, but if you have mobility issues and would like to learn more about what it's like to navigate Puerto Vallarta in that fashion, I am sure that Dan and Kathy would love to talk to us a little bit more about what their experience has been like. I admire them very much because they go everywhere, and they go everywhere with their wheelchair, and they are amongst the most adventurous English speaking folk that I've met in the city. Big hugs to you guys. Let's see what else we have. Uh, Boom, 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 boom. Stephanie is late. No worries. We're still here. Um, Mazatlan's revitalized Centro District is amazing. I don't know, excuse me, how many changes they've made since last time. I mean, I haven't been in Mazatlan for 6 or 8 years, if not more. And I absolutely thought this El Centro District was gorgeous then. So if they continue to make it better, I certainly hope that is the case. Paco, thanks for using maps. This is something that we're going to continue doing, Karen, because oftentimes we discuss specific colonias or specific cities, and I'm sure it helps me by all means to understand the context of where things are located, and I'm glad to see that it helps other people. Brett comments that the Vedanta ship is docked a few blocks from him in Mazatlan. Obviously, they must be on standby, waiting to see what is going to happen. San Blas seems to be the best option, says Matthew. It would be awesome if one of the smaller islands were to be converted into a resort of some sort. I kind of agree and kind of disagree with you, Matthew, and that's okay. I've never been to the island, so I cannot really comment on something that I don't know. But I know that UNESCO has deemed the islands to be a protected sanctuary for nature. So, would I want to see an area that is already protected for nature be turned into a resort? Probably not. But would I like to see a proposal of sustainable development in a place like Islas Marias where you can actually, you know, be in contact with nature? Absolutely. But it is something that remains to be seen. I'll be very curious as to how things develop. And as far as San Blas, I've been only passing through San Blas, Matthew, so I don't know what kind of what their port looks like, what their terminal looks like. So there has to be infrastructure for the terminals to be able to accept passengers and ticketing and this, that, and the other. Out of the three destinations, I think Mazatlan is the better suited for smaller vessels that would be doing this kind of trip. But we wait to see until the summer to see how that will look. Karen asks, if did I move my penis? Yes, I moved the penis because it's getting a lot of direct sunlight in the afternoon, and I find that the sun has also not gotten the memo, and all of a sudden it's really warm, and it's not humid yet, although humidity is increasing. I just did not want to have the penis plant getting too much sun in the afternoon because it's an air plant, so I just spray it with water and hope that it's going to be doing okay. Um, Cutting water where? Thanks. I think Michael was very clear in saying that the water cutting was in, let me go back to his comment, in Emiliano Zapata, 5 de Diciembre, and a few other colonias. I would check on the CEPAL Facebook page to see if they have posted anything there. People love maps. I love maps too. I'd like to see the old penal colony. Yeah, same here, Mushi. I mean, the buildings are still there. So I hope they kept some kind of historical perspective about how the facilities were used. And I'm just curious about it. And because it's nearby, it's just a matter of hopping on a boat and checking it out. So we'll keep you posted. Absolutely. Um, don't burn my penis. Oh no, no, no. We definitely want that. I mean, we don't want that. No, nothing worse than a sunburned peepee. Absolutely. Um, oh, you guys are too much. Okay, so what is next? We have done. Oh my God, it's time for Taco Tuesday. We have done everything that we were setting ourselves to do today. So I think it's time to start Taco Tuesday. Drum roll. And of course, as I mentioned before, we are visiting Tacos Revolución today. Now, before we get started, there's something I have to say about taquerias in general. Some of the best taquerias or taco places are basic, no frills places that specialize in one thing. Some of the best ones. They don't even have fancy beverages or cocktails. Maybe they serve sodas and just flavored waters, and some of them even just serve beer. But there are many of the glorious taco places that are um, just very basic that way. And there are some taquerias like Tacos Revolucion that is a one-stop heaven for just about every or any kind of taco you would want to enjoy, along with other wonderful things and a full menu of Mexican chingadera. So I have to say, just up front, that Tacos Revolucion is, and they have their own Taco Tuesday. Check out the sign. You know, they have a Taco Tuesday deal going on, which is awesome. So I have to cut to the chase and let you know that Tacos Revolucion is a must for anyone that wants to explore different kinds of basic tacos and also their own very creative creations. Tacos Revolucion offers wonderful sitting al fresco out on the sidewalk where you can, sit around and find a husband if you want. This photo didn't fill. There you go. That's much better. And they also have a sitting area in the back that is open during the evenings. It was not open. Their patio, the back patio, was not open while I was there. But I have sat back there and enjoyed a wonderful meal. Tacos Revolucion features a cozy indoor section with revolutionary decor, and they have what you call it, a very extensive drinks menu with specialty drinks that are tequila based and mezcal based, and they also feature a bunch of microbrewery beer. So not only do you get to have a great taco or tacos, but you also get to complement your meal with boozy stuff, which is absolutely wonderful. And let's see, even before you sit down, you are offered tortilla chips and salsa. And here we have the three emblematic salsas that they offer. The one on the right is this delicious pineapple habanero salsa, which is spicy. But if you have it in moderate amounts, it is quite flavorful and a great complement to your tacos. The green salsa and the red salsa were also delish. And of course, I started my adventure with this wonderful serving of grilled panela cheese with refried beans on the side, and it comes with corn tortillas. Now, for taquerias, we decided the parameter was we're going to cover places that actually served prepared tacos on your plate, but. And we have that at Tacos Revolucion. But here, for example, you can start your order with this delicious vegetarian choice in which you make your own tacos with the grilled panela and the beans. And it's like if you're on a budget, for example, starting with this is a great way to go. Um, and this is one of the pièces de résistance. This is a specialty taco. It's one of their Revolucion tacos. And the beautiful thing about this taco is that it looks very unassuming. It's just a long chingadera made of something over which I've poured a little bit of red salsa. But what this is an invisible heaven because you mix beef and pork rinds, and they add their special guajillo sauce, and all of this gets placed over a bed of melted cheese, and the cheese gets allowed to burn ever so slightly. What you're looking at is cheese that is burnt ever so slightly, and the whole thing gets rolled as a little taco and presented over a flour tortilla. So it is a monster taco. It is a monster taco, which of course I was enjoying with a margarita, and it was absolutely wonderful. And I looked at it and I was like, oh my god, I'm going to photograph this thing, but it's just very monochromatic. There's nothing much to it, but it was absolutely beautiful. And they have three of these specialty tacos. They also have a good selection of fish tacos and vegetarian tacos. So they clearly have something for everything. Now, while I was sitting there, they have this amazing t-shirt, Make Tacos, Not Walls. And a number of people inquired about the t-shirts because they are super awesome. And I almost purchased one, as a matter of fact, and I should have. But I have to go back. Tacos Revolucion is a kind of place where you want to explore the menu in repeated visits because there are so many awesome things. Just the taco choices alone are enough that you absolutely um, need to pay several visits. And of course, they do a lot of cross promotion with their other restaurant, La Romantica, where their specialty is churros. So I had dessert. I had these wonderful, beautiful churros that came. I could have ordered different kinds of syrups. I wanted sweet condensed milk to go along with them, and they were absolutely wonderful. So, of course, we are wrapping this up into one of our traditional minute and a half presentations for our taco map, and it looks like this. Just yummy, 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 yummy stuff. And of course, they are already on our map. If I click down here in good old Colonia Emiliano Zapata, we get to our Tacos Revolucion entry. So I highly, highly recommended. And of course, the map, as you know, is available for anybody that is a supporting member here at Coffee and Headlines. You have already received the link, and if you have not seen it, let me know if you are a contributing member, a supporting member of Coffee and Headlines. And if you're not, well, we always present a little link at the end of our show, which we're going to present at the end of our show, where you can learn a little bit about how you can also help us continue providing this kind of production and this kind of content for you to enjoy. Let me take a quick look at your taco-related comments. And I just love watching your comments go by because we're kindred spirits. We like our food and we like our tacos. So let's see what you have. Let's see. Well, let me go back to this. Penal colony like Papillon? Yes, penal colony like Papillon. Exactly the same thing. Trucha says, I love Raul and Judith and family. I've only met Raul in passing a long time ago, but I had the pleasure of meeting his son, who is also helping manage the restaurant. And of course, Arturo, his brother, who is living in Canada. is a regular here at Coffee and Headlines. I know that with a time switch, we won't see him live as much as before, but he was very appreciative when we mentioned that we went to his other restaurant, and they have been just sweet and very grateful to know that we were going to feature them here. And it is absolutely a wonderful place to explore. Um, Suggestion to check out the fish tacos at Marisma or Naranjo and Basilio Vadillo in Emiliano Zapata. Thank you very much, James. I will gladly add them to my list so we can, come by and check them out at some point. Sherry says we passed it many times. Never thought to try it. Well, I love hearing comments like that, Sherry, because that's precisely what it is about or should be about. I'll be the first person to admit that a lot of times I walk by places that I've never walked by before, and all of a sudden you stumble upon something wonderful. And that's the beautiful thing about exploring um, here in Puerto Vallarta, even when you've lived here for a long time, like I have, almost 2 decades. Bronica says, churros. Paco answers, churros. Yes, they were absolutely wonderful. Joe loved the pineapple salsa, and that's great, Joe. You see, taquerias in general are all great, but it's often the salsas that make the difference. Absolutely. Uh, Trucha says that the green one is mild and yummy. Absolutely. Raymond loves the red salsa. Let's see. Oh, Claude. Well, you and I have so many things in common. It's not even funny. Michael endorses one of the best taco places here in Puerto Vallarta, coming from Michael Buford. Of course, it means a lot to me because Michael is a very fair judge of good restaurants here in Puerto Vallarta. Of course, he has 3 wonderful restaurants of his own, which you should take some time to get to know. Um, let's see what else. Logan went vegetarian last week. Thank you very much for that. Yes, they have a ton of veggie tacos, which is really wonderful. Um, you're killing me, says Colleen. I love it. I love it. Question: how is call? Okay, I didn't get that, so kindly repeat again. Um, Chicharrón de queso is deadly, but it's wonderful. Absolutely. Has so many calories. It's not even funny. Let's see what else. Let's see what else. I'd go there just for the churros. I would too. And that's a beautiful thing about these places. You can just go in and get a little snack and be happy about yourself, feel happy, feel good about yourself. Or you can just explore the menu at your leisure on repeated visits if you have the time and the disposition. Um, let's see. Let's see. On my list, we'll visit when I move to PP. Awesome. Awesome. Adam Margarita, and I'm there. Michal, let's set a date. Let's see. Taco Revolución just went to top of my list. I don't blame you. But again, this should never undermine other taquerias that are equally wonderful just because they specialize on one thing and one thing alone. For example, there's great taquerias that we're going to mention and explore through the day that don't have so many offerings, but if you crave specifically what they have, hey, they're just as wonderful. Um, Question: when they bring salsa and chips, should one avoid dipping into the salsa cup? I think that's the only way you can eat them. Now, if what you're saying here is I'm having dinner with people and many of us are dipping into the same container of salsa, I always do that because I choose very carefully who I'm having dinner with. So if that is where your question is going, I know that a lot of people would probably frown upon places that where you share the same salsa container. For example, this particular place has a serving station that is in the middle of the restaurant. So many people will go there and get other things. I personally might feel a little iffy about that, but it won't break the deal. It won't break the deal. And of course, it is a personal thing. Let's see what else. Sheila has been a fan since they opened. I have gone several times. I had not gone in a long time, and it was a great reminder to go back more often. Matthew asks, any photos of that rear patio? Unfortunately, Matthew, I went there when it was not open yet. It was a little bit early, and I looked back there, and it has a lot of trees, so there were a lot of leaves on the table, and I think I would have done a disservice to the restaurant if if I had taken a photograph to share. When I spoke with the son of the owner, I gave him my card. He knew who I was, apparently, and that happens more and more these days. And he was very grateful that I was there. I asked him as a favor, would you please send me a photo of the patio if you have one? And he did not. So either they didn't have one or he forgot. We don't know. But it is a really sweet and cozy space. I can tell you that for sure. Um, let's see what else. Um, is Michael the man that owns Poblanos? Yes, he is the one and only. Michael owns Poblanos. Michael owns Siam Cuisine, and Michael owns Bravos, three excellent restaurants in Emiliano Zapata. And of course, Siam Cuisine has a location here in Aralias. No, Aralias? Is it Aralias, Michael? I always get the name. It is Aralias. Yes. Is it Aralias? Well, near Costco, and within walking distance to my house, which is very, very dangerous. Let's see what else we have. How late are they open? You mean Tacos Revolución? You can probably find that answer in their Facebook page, James. And that's all I can tell you. Let's see what else. Let's see what else. Dun, 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 dun. The patio's really nice, says Angelica Vargas. Yes, I remember the back patio being very nice, and Lisa chimes in to that effect. So there you have it, and that was our Taco Tuesday, my friends, and that was, for that matter, our Los Tules. Thank you very much, Julie. I'm scattered that way, and I'm always so thankful that sometimes the cluster fills in my own sentences when I need help. Los Tules. Anyhow, this has been Coffee and Headlines for today. As always, if you found information that was useful, funny, pertinent, inspiring, or in any other way mind altering, consider supporting our projects. It's small contributions like those offered by many of you that allow us to find and make the time, the resources, and the whole thing of producing all this content for you on a regular basis. As always, I'm grateful for your company, and thank you for thanking me for making mouths water. My mouth is watering, so I'm kind of ready to go. And I hope we'll get together tomorrow. Tomorrow is Walking Wednesday, and I still have some editing to go. But as always, we will walk tomorrow. And on Thursday, I will tell you about this new amazing restaurant, well, new to me, that I discovered that everybody should try. And of course, it's in Colonia Versalles. Between now and then, please have a wonderful day. Stay happy, stay kind, eat tacos. Take good care of yourselves, be safe, and stay in touch. Have a great day.